little fox.
It was Christmas Eve, and the city of London was full of holiday cheer. Despite the bitter cold, people were smiling and laughing as they went about their business. Even the horses pulling carts and wagons seemed jollier than usual. But not everyone was feeling the warm Christmas spirit. A man named Ebenezer Scrooge was still hard at work. The air inside his counting house office was nearly as cold as the air outside. Scrooge could afford to keep the building warm if he liked. But he believed in making and saving money, not spending it. He was so miserly that he allowed himself to light only a very small fire. He allowed his employee, Bob Cratchit, an even smaller one. As the two men worked, the door suddenly flew open. A smiling young man burst in.
Merry Christmas, Uncle Scrooge!
It was Scrooge's nephew, Fred.
Ah,
Scrooge said.
humbug!
Fred's eyes sparkled with amusement.
Are you calling Christmas a humbug, Uncle? I'm sure you don't mean to say that this wonderful holiday is a bunch of nonsense.
I certainly do mean that.
Scrooge said.
I hate Christmas. And why are you so merry? It's not as if you're wealthy with nothing to worry about.
I won't disagree with that.
Fred said cheerfully.
I'm not a rich man. But why are you so miserable? Unlike me, you are wealthy. So shouldn't you be cheerful?
Scrooge rolled his eyes.
I can't believe I live in a world full of fools like you.
Don't be so cross, Uncle.
Fred grinned.
It's Christmas!
You can celebrate Christmas in your own way.
Scrooge said.
Let me celebrate it in mine.
Celebrate it?
Fred raised his eyebrows.
But you don't celebrate it.
Let me ignore it then.
Scrooge snapped.
In my opinion, celebrating it has never done anyone any good at all.
Fred shrugged.
Christmas has certainly never made me any money. But it is a kind, forgiving, and pleasant time. It's a time when men and women open their hearts and try to help others. Therefore, Uncle, I believe it has done me good. And it will continue to do me good for as long as I live.
Scrooge scowled.
You're a powerful speaker, Fred. You should run for a seat in Parliament.
Fred laughed.
I haven't come to talk about money or politics. I've come to invite you to dine with us tomorrow on Christmas Day.
Good afternoon.
Scrooge said coldly, clearly dismissing his nephew. Fred tried once more to convince his uncle to come to dinner. But Scrooge's voice only got louder.
I said good afternoon!
Finally, Fred shrugged and gave up.
I can see that you're determined to stay angry. Still, I wish you a Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Good afternoon!
And a Happy New Year!
Fred added with a grin. On his way out, Fred stopped to wish Bob Cratchit a happy holiday. Scrooge's eyes narrowed as he listened to the two men exchanging friendly words.
Now Cratchit is the one talking about a Merry Christmas for no good reason.
Scrooge muttered to himself.
What right does that man have to be merry? The fool has chosen to try to support a wife and 6 children on a tiny salary. It's barely enough for one person, never mind an entire family.
A few minutes later, Fred was gone. But two other people knocked on the door of the office. When Scrooge opened the door, he saw two older gentlemen standing there, smiling and well-dressed.
This business belongs to Scrooge and Marley, I believe.
One said in a pleasant voice.
Am I speaking to Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Marley has been dead for 7 years.
Scrooge said bluntly. He rarely thought about his old partner anymore, even though Jacob Marley had built the business along with him.
Oh, I'm sorry for your loss, Mr. Scrooge.
The second man said with a bow.
We won't take up much of your time. We're only here to ask you to be generous during this festive time of year.
Yes.
The first man added.
We're collecting donations for the poor. Many people lack even basic comforts of life, such as food and warm clothing.
That's why there are prisons!
Scrooge yelled.
I'd rather support those and let the poor be fed and warmed there. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
With that, he slammed the door in their startled faces and returned to work. While Scrooge worked inside his office, the day darkened into night. Outside, the weather grew foggy and damp. The air temperature dropped even lower, making people shiver in their winter coats. Finally, the end of the business day arrived. As soon as Bob Cratchit saw his boss rise from his stool, he leaped to his feet too. He put out his candle and reached for his hat. Scrooge stared coldly at his employee.
You'll want the whole day off tomorrow for Christmas, I suppose.
He asked in a disagreeable voice.
Yes.
Cratchit smiled uncertainly.
That is, if you don't mind, sir.
I do mind!
Scrooge said.
And not only that, but I also find it quite unfair. If I held back your pay, people would say you were poorly treated. Meanwhile, nobody would consider me poorly treated if I paid you for no work.
Christmas comes only once per year, Mr. Scrooge.
Cratchit said softly. Scrooge let out a harumph.
That's a poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. But I suppose you may have the day off. Make sure you're early on the following day.
Cratchit's eyes lit up.
I will be here early, sir. I promise. Thank you.
The two men shut up the office, and then Cratchit ran off down the street. Scrooge, however, walked slowly, ignoring all signs of the holiday around him. He ate his melancholy dinner in his usual melancholy inn, with only a newspaper for company. Then he walked home toward his apartment, which had once belonged to Jacob Marley. At the front door of the apartment building, Scrooge put his key in the lock. Then he blinked, startled by something odd.
Why does the door knocker look so strange?
He thought.
Is it the fog?
Scrooge leaned in closer for a better look.
Marley?
He gasped. To his shock, the door knocker had taken on the shape of his old partner's face. Marley looked much like himself, with his spectacles resting on his forehead. Yet his face was glowing with an eerie light, and an invisible breeze was stirring his hair. Suddenly, the knocker seemed to freeze, returning to its usual appearance. Scrooge shook his head and muttered to himself. He was not usually frightened by things looking odd in the dark. Still, he couldn't help feeling uneasy as he unlocked the door and entered the building.